Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Season 8 of VDRL. It's round 4, and we're heading out to Canada. Then we lead into round 4 with Kevin leading the championship with 67 points to his name. Then Rajic 10 points behind him. And after the events of Australia, Toro has clawed his way back into the championship fight, a further 12 points behind Rajic there. Joining me in the commentary box, we have the holy trinity of commentators, I'd like to say. Alongside me, up here in the comments box, is Will, back at it again. How are you doing tonight, Will? And what are you expecting from Canada here? Very interesting track, it must be said.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm feeling a lot better than last week, that's for sure. Canada is an interesting track, obviously with lots of chicanes, high-speed straights. I mean, there's plenty of overtaking zones, but qualifying is going to be really the key factor today because the amount of places, and we've been chatting about this earlier, is the track limits. There's plenty of areas that's going to happen, and that's just how teams are going to minimise that, and also the pit strategies later in the race. But we'll focus on that later.
Yeah, and just like the 3 races before, we have someone down in the pit lane then. Nedzo, how's it looking down there? Engineers must be getting busy setting these cars up, ready for qualifying.
Yes, I guess so. It's a case of, do you go for a qualifying setup to get that track position on what is technically a street circuit in a way? It's a semi-permanent circuit, so it's one of the ones where you can overtake, but you will be setting your car up either more for qualifying or more for the race, whichever one is you feel more comfortable with. And, well, there's been a spontaneity this season. We've had 3 different winners in the first 3 races. We'll be very hard pushed to get a 4 from 4 because it's the 3 main contenders, Kevin, Toro and Rajic. But we could see, I mean, it's not, we've seen more egregious things happen in VDRL. And, well, you could see something happen. You could see Rajic and Toro and Co take each other out. But if that doesn't happen, we could see a great battle between these lot. And it could be a case of who wins track limits. So those 3 could be fighting up at the top with each other. But then a guy in 4th could, on late safety car restart, not have any penalties and just sneak his way through. So it's all tense. As the first cars are making their way out onto the track, I think it's best to hand over to you now so you can continue.
Yes, I always pull this reference to these 3. They're like Chick Hicks, the King, and Lightning McQueen from Cars. Just always the 3 at the front. Always, maybe there's a 4th one, Nilu, he's always been there in P4. Same thing with Nicholson and Mavers. But it's pretty much always been these 3 then. But going out into qualifying now, who's out there first? That should be a Red Bull then. So it's either Timo or Kevin. Martin, if we can go on to one of them, that would be fantastic. Coming on to the first of 3 DRS zones, Will. And 2 of them are back-to-back, so we should see a lot of overtaking then, but still a very tight track.
Yeah, 100%. And we need to keep an eye on the Red Bulls as well as Kevin. Just continuing his streak. I believe he got pole in Australia, if I'm correct.
This will be his 10th in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Is something else in this league. So, yeah, he's a hell of a driver, and he's definitely a huge contender for this race, alongside the 2 Alpines. But the Alpines are going to work together, I think, just aiming to stay ahead as they are in most races. But, Toro, he's hungry. He's so hungry for that victory, and he's hungry to stay ahead of Rajic. But, Rajic has just got it seems that the race pace, but I think Toro's just been so unlucky with all those moments.
Baku being the biggest one.
100% being the worst one for him. And Kevin, look at that, snapping the rear there, but still doing okay. Not going to validate this, but this is the area, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the S area.
That's what we talked about just before we went live then. That chicane there as well. Pretty much every chicane around this track is an absolute nightmare for track limits, and which is why I think we might see quite a few 3-second penalties, which it's understandable, especially around this track. Like we said, this another corner on the exit, or rather the second part of the chicane, when you ride too much then. And the hairpin, you want to get a good exit out of it because you've got a long DRS straight. Then Kevin, of course, being the first on track, going double purple then. But again, it's a tricky one because half permanent track, half street circuit. But also in terms of setup, yes, you have these 3 long straights, but you've also got some technical aspects, Will. So what setup do you go for in these conditions?
Well, it's actually a really tricky decision, and it's obviously teams trying to maximise all the downforce and everything right. And there we go. So Kevin sets the fast lap 1:11.1. That's the time to beat at the moment. Is a provisional pole so far. But yeah, as we were saying, the strategy is just going to be interesting. What's going to happen? There we go. As I say, that Vasta there in the Ferrari beats him 109.7. So obviously Kevin wasn't pushing as hard, but he saw he had a squirm actually out of turn 2. So that obviously may have lost a bit of time. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting what teams are going to do, and obviously the best driver is going to win, as Will Buxton's famous quote.
Nedzo, you've talked to some of the engineers then. Do you know what setup these guys are running, or is it just something we have to figure out as qualifying and the race goes?
There's multiple things you have to consider when thinking of setups. A track like Canada, because it's high speed most of the corners, and then it's got long straights, you probably want a more pointy setup than usual. But what will counteract that now is I've seen from some credible sources for the race, we're going to have some rain. So what you don't want in a race is a pointy car setup, one that's got no rear downforce and a lot of front downforce, because that is heavy oversteer. As Kevin, I think, must have been doing two
laps,
two warm-up laps. There we go. And I believe that the drivers, you'll see which drivers have chosen a qualifying setup and which drivers have chosen a wet setup for the race, because apparently there is rain coming. Whether it's going to come at the start and it's going to last through to the end, or whether it's going to be a light little flash at the end, we don't know. But this is Canada. We saw a chaotic race here in real life in 2011. That is definitely the most chaotic. I don't think it's the best race of all time, but it's definitely the most chaotic race of all time, the longest race of all time as well. But yeah, you'll see. If you see a driver that's closer to the leaders than they usually are, that'll mean that the leaders are running a wet setup, and it'll mean that they're running a qualifying full-on dry setup.
And just want to correct myself here, this will be Kevin's 9th pole in a row, which begs the question. We know Kevin loves a good qualifying setup, or a good qualifying session in general. In the race, we've seen him make countless mistakes. I'm thinking Baku recently, a while back, Las Vegas, Spa as well a while back, which you go
Portugal.
think these 3 seconds, or these warnings, they might come back to haunt him, Will, based on those just little mistakes and unnecessary mistakes he's been making throughout his career, really.
Yeah, that is the other big factor as well, and Kevin just being, another unlucky contender, like he was last time, especially in Baku with that last lap controversy there. But he's forgot about that, and he's mainly just heads down and focusing on the amount of points he can secure in this championship. But it's just like that 3-second penalty. It probably wouldn't have mattered at a more of a high-speed circuit and less chicane in hard corners, but for this one I think it's really quite important.
So just to cut in here, but Rajic's on a hot lap and he's being held up by one of the RBs. Then I don't think this would be it is Damon, who's also on his hot lap then, and now he pulls the massive gap. So I think now Rajic's backed off from his lap after being held up through the hairpin. Then anyway, back to you, Will.
So as I say, look at that, Magic dives into the pit lane as well, I think I saw. Remus there, it's not even having a good lap. But yeah, no, as I was saying, it's just, you don't want that 3-second time penalty whatsoever, and just to, you want to try and stay away from that and try and take it easy, but not too easy at the same time, as that can obviously lose you a lot of seconds from the car time. But the front 3 are definitely the guys to watch today. And wasn't it Toro in Portugal? He had a 3-second time penalty, which actually affected him. It's just come at the end of the race as well. So, that was quite harsh on him.
Anyway, in the meanwhile, we've been joined by James, our second commentator in the pit lane. I'm guessing you found Nedzo, or are trying to find him in the pit lane. How is it looking over there? We're 10 minutes left of qualifying. It's starting to calm things down, but I'm assuming stuff is going to start going down in the pit lane. Down to you, James.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the pit. As we can see, the bottom 5 haven't done a lap yet. There will be a lot of people out. I assume within the next 5 to 10 minutes we need to go again. I would be surprised.
Will, what's your prediction then for qualifying? Because I will say mine's probably Kevin on pole. And I just realized, look at Tala going P2 only 2/10 behind probably the greatest qualifier or the best qualifier in VDRL history is Kevin. So I would probably go for Kevin in P1 then. The two Alpines are yet to set a lap time, so this is very tricky. I will say total P2 and then Tala P3.
That is very interesting, actually, and I am probably going to join in with Kevin Pole, just because he's just a beast, and he's done it 9 times. So, yeah, I want to probably say Kevin Pole. I want to put one of the Alpines second, probably going to be Toro, and then third, as I always say, I'd like a new face. So,
I think that new face will be Tarlock today.
Yeah, I think so. And Taha there in the Mercedes is doing very well actually with a 108.5. It's only actually 2/10. So look at that. Kevin just going even quicker this time with a 108.1. Wow. So he is on a flyer, but the Alpines really aren't on a flyer. And here's Radek. He's on an outlap.
Oh, he's invalidated. Wait, will he? Wait, can we go back onto Toro? Has he now screwed up his? Yeah. So he's invalidated not only his outlap but also his hot lap, which is another thing. Oh, sorry, that was Radek, not Toro. Which is another very easy thing to do around Canada. So these guys, they need to just get a banker on the board. We've talked about this. Just get a banker on the board so that these mistakes, they don't affect you as much then. Nedzo, down to you. Have you been hopping around the pit gouges to get some info on when this weather will hit in the race?
Yeah, if I come down 2 pieces of news. One that's not actually due to the weather. Radek has labelled what happened between him and Damon as an incident, and he said have they caught it on camera. So I'm assuming that means he's going to search for it to be penalised. And yes, he also said, rather helpfully, that the rain will be coming in the middle of a race, but he doesn't know how intense. So it could be into weather. It could even be just trickling down and not you don't actually come in for tyres, and it's just like greasy, like Brazil 2012 kind of thing. Or it could be a monsoon, like we've seen many times in Canada in the past, because this country it's got weather patterns that are almost as sketchy and as dodgy as, for example, the United Kingdom, which is famous for its bad weather.
100%.
So this is down to the two pit lane reporters, then James and Ned. So what strategy, if it's coming in the middle, mediums then until like, I'm assuming middle, we're talking like lap 14, 15 here, and what's the tire wear around a track like this?
Yeah, I mean, oh sorry, do you want to go?
Now go for it, James.
I was just gonna say it really all depends on when the rain comes. I feel like we'll see quite a few people gambling for maybe longer than they normally would. If, for example, Radek doesn't get a lap in and he doesn't get a qualifying lap, I could honestly see him using more of a gamble on the tyres and potentially going longer or shorter in to try and get further up the field.
Thank you very much, James. Nedzo, I asked Will's predictions earlier. What's your prediction then for qualifying? Your top 3?
Qualifying, I think that it's going to be Radek on pole, then Kevin, then Toro, because I think Radek's about to go top. He is.
Oh wow.
He is by what's that, 100th if I'm not mistaken, if my math is not completely off now. Can we do gap to leader, Martin, real quick? I need to run the numbers here. It's less than that. It's 6 thousandths, ladies and gentlemen, and that was Radek's first proper lap then. So it is Radek, it is Kevin, then it's Toro, and then Tala, and you must say it is close, not only between the top 3, but also look at the gap between Tala and Nicholson. So with just under 6 minutes to go, Will, it's all still open for pretty much all of the top 5 positions, which you love to see.
100%, and it's really exciting, but it's actually upsetting for Toro as well, because Toro was on an absolute flyer, chucked himself, and he's invalidated as well, sadly. But oh no, he hasn't. Sorry, that was someone else. Sorry,
that was
Toro, I don't think he had the best run, but obviously his teammate came out the top. It is quite good, and it's actually left Kevin in a bit of a sandwich as well. So
French sandwich,
finishing order, French. There we go, the French sandwich.
Yeah,
Oui. Yeah, so on the grid, I think it'll be quite good, the fact that Kevin's in the sandwich. But we know Kevin's known for quite good starts, but so is Toro as well.
It's a short run to the first corner, though, isn't it? So it's you're gonna need a bloody amazing start and great traction, great engine response through third and fourth gear as well. So, I mean, I'm saying this now, hopefully not to jinx it, but this race has the recipe to be a fantastic rain, semi-street / semi-proper racetrack. So safety cars can appear. Top 3 fighting, maybe even top 4, maybe even top 5. We know Nicholson likes his alternate strategy. He likes to just sit in the DRS of the leaders. But I think this race can be one of the races of the seasons. We know Baku it's going to need something special to beat Baku.
I don't think anything's going to beat Baku with the amount of craziness and, oh my goodness, I wish I could have that race again. And, you know, we could be on course for another one of those because, as you said, Canada's an awesome track and there's plenty of overtaking zones and it's not just straight off the straight, kind of what Portimao was. And, you know, Canada's very, very exciting and all these drivers here on the squad are very skilled. So who's going to come out where is going to be very interesting. I think we're going to have a lot of surprises, shocks and surprises along the way. But we're now on board with Mayverse there, coming into the last chicane.
I think he's going to start his lap now. I think he's starting his lap now. He's in medium though, so that's rather interesting. Maybe hot lap, not the right call. Kevin's also starting his lap now, so it seems like everyone starting the lap now. We're on board with the man who's chasing his 9th pole position in a row. Then he wants to keep that streak. He does not want some French-Spanish duo to ruin that. He wants to take it all the way. The Dutchman then out of turn 2, very clean, bit of overtake usage for the exit then to get the traction down and the speed very close to the wall, it must be said then, practically kissing it then. And out of sector 1, it's an improvement of 300ths, which isn't a lot, Will, but it's just enough to nick Radzik off pole position for now.
And this is what we're hoping for, because we're wanting these guys to have an awesome battle when it already is kicking off and we're only in qualifying, because Kevin is on the hunt for that 9th pole position and he's also eager to get ahead of these two Alpines just to cover him off the line coming into that hairpin. Bit of a lock-up, it's not affecting too much. Back on the throttle and heading into the second DRS, it's the first one, isn't it? And he comes now. So it's going to be interesting if he could just get that last chicane right. That's going to be the critical part in order to secure his top lap. Here he comes now into the last chicane. Is this going to be the pole position that Kevin wants? He taps the barriers there. That's not what he wants. He comes across the line. Where is going to pin? It is pole with a 108.1, and there's still 2 minutes to go. Are the Alpines still on track at the moment?
They're still in the pits for now. Then I want to see, Martin, if we can go into Kevin to see if he's picked up some damage from that lap then. So let's go off board with him. Oh, it's very hard to tell in this shadowy area. For now, it looks like he's not got any damage, at least visual damage. He will know if he has damage or not. The two Alpines have gone out on their outlap then with a minute 40 left to go then. Dumpley Zero is on his front lap then. He's currently down in P17 then, looking to move up ahead of Lucic and Ramos. Ramos currently down the road for his teammate up in P4 then. But yeah, we'll see if the two Alpines can respond with less than 90 seconds to go, ladies and gentlemen. So these are the laps of qualifying that will set the grid for the race.
It's going to be exciting, actually, between these two Alpines. They're both on an outlap. Obviously, they're going to try and get a bit of gap between them, but they need to do it in the space of 1 minute 13. So they're going to actually have to try and rush round. But I see one of them already on the back straight, so he's ready to go. Caution sector's there, and that is Kevin has retired from the session.
He's done.
He's in the pit lane. So he's crashed on the track, that he cannot improve anymore. Toro has invalidated the lap, but he's going to go this one time. He's on that lap anyway.
Oh, wait, has he invalidated both? No, he hasn't. Never mind.
Yeah,
He's yet to fight another day then. He's got a Ferrari in front of him, which should help him down that long straight, but through this section where he is now, never mind. The Ferrari gets out the way then. He navigates the turn 3 and 4 chicane very nicely then. Up to the wall, doesn't, not as close as Kim, but still very close then. Through sector 1, he's up by 400ths. These are the margins these guys are working with. What was that? That was a Haas then. Just because that corner, we just want to naturally run out wide then. So he had to stick a bit tight then, round the second chicane then, very nicely done. A lot of margin on the right hand side, down towards the hairpin. Now we'll see a sector 2 split. He's lost a bit of time in the second sector. It's all to play for with the Alpine of Toro. Can he get on the front row or maybe even pole position then? It's very hard to see what time he needs considering Kevin has retired. I think it was a 1:8.73 if I'm not mistaken then. Toro then down towards the Wall of Champions then. Is it going to claim another victim here today? No, it isn't then, but he hasn't invalidated. The chicane has claimed another victim. We'll see what his teammate can do. It would have been a one. That would have been enough for pole position. Rajic in the dying stages might take this pole position here away. It's a 1:8.094. He takes it by 400ths of a second, and he says no more Kevin Van Dijk pole positions.
So it looked like Nezo's, your predictions were correct with Rajic up at the top. Did you say Toro third as well? Was that?
I think he did.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So he's absolutely aced that prediction there. Gold star to him. But yeah, that's a great grid already. Nico done with a shocking fourth as well. So McLaren joining them up. And where was the Mercedes?
The Mercedes was in P6 with Tala, and the other one was in P19 if I'm not mistaken.
That's actually very good positioning from all the drivers, and we're actually in for such a good Grand Prix because obviously, well, look at that. I'll go through the order. Rajic in pole position with Kevin in behind, Toro in third position with Nico just tucked in behind with a 1:08.3, Mayverse in fifth, and I'll let you take over the rest.
Well, P6 you have Tala, then solid qualifying from him. Neil in P7. We usually see him right behind the top three. Then Ghost in P8, Mick and Vastest in the 5th row then, and you got Don't Play Zero in 12th. I've missed Timo. Wow, that is, hold up, let me pull up the stream real quick. You have Timo in P11, then Don't Play Zero P12, in P13 and 14 you have Froby, followed by Dinko. Werner lines up in P15, Ramos P16, not the best of qualifying for him. Then you have Lucek, Damon, Non and Fraver. What was his name? Franer, or something like that, right? Lining up last then for the race. And tell you what, if it's gonna rain, these clouds are gonna have to blow quickly because right now, Will, it's blue skies out and everyone is seeming to want to get a tan. Then how's it down in the pit lane, boys? Are you guys also catching a tan? Have you guys applied the sunscreen?
Yeah. Yes, it's not looking like it's gonna rain at all at the moment. Down here, but as we know, anything can change at any moment. Come the race in a minute.
All right. Well, just a quick one. Your predictions in terms of top 3 and the safe cars. You hit the buzzer in the background, so you know you've not got a lot of time.
Oh yeah, I said my top 3. Yeah, it's going to be interesting on Kevin just filling it behind. But as I say that, the timer is up and we're all lining up on the grid. It's 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. This lights out. It's going to be go here in Canada, and it looks like Rajic gets a great start off the line and ahead of Toro and Kevin. But look at that, Nico's trying to get involved there. Toro around the outside. Is he going to make the move? It's interesting, but I don't think he has done it yet. Toro's still fighting him side by side, but no, Kevin stays ahead that time. And that was an awesome start from Rajic because he absolutely dominated Kevin there. And a spin from the back, 2 cars spin from the back, and that's the Williams and Mick there. And I don't know who else was in front of the the Mercedes of Non there. So it wasn't a very good start from those guys, still fighting further back on the pack. And how the front runner's doing, well, Rajic is slowly, well, it looks like he's trying to run away with it, but here's that Toro. Toro's onto the back of Kevin, and he's like a rat. He's not going to let him go, and he's looking for that move in the hairpin, but going to wait. And I know he's going to wait for that opportunity because he's got plenty of time to catch up on him. So, yeah.
A lot of drivers on the hard competitive tyres. This is what we were talking about with the rain then coming halfway through. So this begs the question, mediums, I think they can go around 12 laps, maybe even 15 here. Hards can go at least 20, so you'd expect the rain to come around lap 19 to 22 then, based on the choice that these guys made, sticking with the hard tires. And it was actually a great start for everyone, despite being on the hard tires, but the top 4 remained unchanged. Then Mavers losing 5 position, Ghost Pro and Mick losing 6 and 9, while gaining the most would be Ramos moving up 4, so doing exactly what he needs to do after his sub-optimal qualifying, it must be said. The Mercedes in the pit lane, but still the top three. Look at this, and the DRS is now enabled, so whoever's in the lead will be absolutely frightened to see that rear wing open behind them.
Yeah, that is a hungry Toro though, because look at that, he's all over the back of him, and he's just not even going to try. Well, he's going to try and make a lunge when he can. Look at that, he's still looking, but careful, because he's got Nikos on behind, and Nikos on, he just has to wait for a mistake from Toro, and he can slide through that opportunity, but it's all until then. Here comes the DRS train. It starts on now. So we've enjoyed the DRS train from other rounds, especially in Portugal. Look at that. Kevin takes the lead of the race, and Rajic just squeezes there, but it wasn't enough. So there we go, and Toro is on the back of his teammate. Is Toro going to go for lunge down the inside into turn one? It looks like he's done it, and he has. There we go. So Toro moves ahead of his teammate. That was a massive lockup, wasn't it? And Rajic drops down 2 positions, but that was all from the DRS train, and it didn't look like Nikoson got through anywhere, because obviously the people in front and people behind both had DRS. So it's going to be interesting if Kevin can really pull away. I mean, do you think he can do that?
It's going to be very tough, because already now they're coming up to the next DRS zone, and that DRS zone on the run to the World Champions and after, it's a double DRS zone with 1 detection point. So Rajic did not have DRS for either of them. Then it's another lockup. These guys pushing very hard. So I'm assuming Kevin, he wants to try and bridge a gap to the field, because right now everyone from P1 down to P14 is in the same DRS train, but it's going to be very tricky to do, because you've only got about, what's that, 5 or 6 corners between the DRS straights, and then only like 3 or 4. So it's a very tricky track to pull 1 second, or just even like bridge a gap somewhere. Someone needs to be fighting. In the background, I think Timo is trying to get past the Ferrari of Vastas down the inside into the chicane, and he's got that move done as long as he can get a good run at which he has gone. And so still now Toro, he made the move for P2 1 lap ago. He now moves up into P3. Kevin tries the switch back the right to left. There's contact between the two. Is that front wing damage for the Red Bull? We wait to see. We don't see any visual damage on the Red Bull, but there was certainly contact.
And that's going to be interesting in the pit lane as well, alongside all the teams. And we'll see if Kevin dives into the pit lane. But so far, it doesn't look like it. And Toro goes really deep with that lockup. So it looks like Kevin's going to be all over him this time. And he's got the DRS. Is he going to make the move this time? And we've already got Remus there with the safety car deployed. And is that 2 cars or is that 1 car?
That is 2. It's Remus and Ghost Pro at the exit of, what's that, turn 5, I think it is. Yeah, it is, if you count the kink there. Turn 5 then. Which, yeah, we've seen before in RLF1 there. Lance Stroll having trouble there in 2018. So this is exactly what the people on mediums want then. A safe car so their tires can last longer then. So what an interesting first couple of laps. Of course, the DRS, as we expected, to be very effective. Just keeping everyone bunched up, and now the safe car is going to bunch everyone up even more.
Yeah, 100%. And Toro was so eager to get to the front. But the thing is, when he took the lead, he made a few mistakes. And thankfully, the safety car came out for him. It's kind of time for him just to take a deep breath and go again. But look at that, even locking up into that turn 1. But he's got Kevin all over him. And Kevin just takes it calm until really he can find the opportunity. Then takes it. And look at that, Ghost leaves the session. So we've got our first 2 retirements already. And what a good 5 laps we've had, haven't we?
Absolutely. I mean, give the other 20 laps, or no, sorry, 30 laps. I can't do math well. The other 30 laps, I want more of this. I would like a small gap in the DRS train, just so we can get that fighting right, because otherwise everyone's just kind of singing DRS, and we just see swaps at the front then. As it'll be, I doubt we'll see anyone in the pit lane, at least as long as they've not got damage, because Hard should go to the rain easily, as long as it's, say, within the next 20 laps. These mediums, though, this is fantastic for the medium runners. I've said it before, and there you see some warnings. So Toro already has a warning. I'm looking at the big guys here as well. Kevin has a warning as well for exceeded track limits. So I don't know what we were saying about Toro and Kevin, especially Kevin, might be true then, as Rajic yet to have a warning, and that is what's given Rajic these championships, just keeping it consistent. Sure, you might not win every race, but you might be in P2 for the other 60% of races that you don't win. How is it with the weather, boys?
Well,
Well, I've just been talking to Adagic and Toro, and they say their engineers have told them there is no rain projected at the moment.
Wow.
Obviously,
So more than 15 minutes.
in this game, obviously, yeah, even if there is rain coming, it won't tell you until it's somewhat near. It's going to be quite an interesting way to do this because, for example, if it doesn't come, will a driver like Timo, for example, who's on that alternate strategy, will they have the opportunity to gain positions, or will people, for example, stay out too long trying to wait for the weather and it just doesn't come? Because there are so many bugs with this game that I wouldn't be surprised if it said in qualifying, oh, it's going to rain in a race, and then it just doesn't rain in the race. I know I was going to say, I know I was in a league race myself on F1 23, although obviously it's a year older game, and we got told, oh, it would rain in the race, and it was a similar sort of light to medium sized rain, and it said it was going to come in the middle of a race, and then it didn't come in the middle of a race, and then as soon as the first place finisher crossed the line, it started raining.
Yeah, but we're on the safety car as well, so these guys, the laps are taking longer time, so that rain might... Thing is, in qualifying, it says it's gonna rain, even if there's a 2% chance of rain. So, we know as much as you know, folks, behind the screen then, as the safety car is coming in, then we're gonna have Toro, Kevin, Rajic. So if we compare that to the start where it was still an Alpine sandwich, but the other way around, then Kevin still finding himself in the baguette or a croissant or God, how do you pronounce it? Pain au de chocolat. So that was I don't speak French. All I know is that we're about to get racing then. So if we go on board with Mr. Kevin Van Dijk, then the man who tried to get 9 pole positions in a row, then failed at the 9th title then because of the man behind him, which is Rajic. Then we wait to see when Toro will go, and Toro has pounced then at the exit of the chicane, and Kevin has kept it with him very nicely. But look at Rajic behind. I see that gap there, less than a tenth of a second. Then he chooses to stick behind for now, but the Alpines having great communication on the safe car restart. Further behind, and you see Nilu and Tala swapping positions going into turn 1 then, but into their second chicane then. They're all line astern then, as they were. Timo in P6 on those mediums. He's doing very well for himself as well.
Aston Martin has just got past the Mercedes there, and they've been fighting, and you can see he was all over the back of him. But Kevin there is just staying behind, actually. He's got a bit of a gap from him to Toro. So Toro's actually got a nice lead so far. Lockup's further back, I believe that was from McLaren maybe, of Nico's on, and he's starting to get under pressure from Nilu, a familiar face actually we've had in this grid, and being up at the front as well, especially in Baku. I think we're taking the podium spot, but yeah, the DRS train is going to start soon, obviously next lap within 1 lap, and it's going to be interesting if Toro can pull a gap to Kevin, but you know, the 8-time pole sitter
in a row.
Interesting in a row. It would be not 8.
We're really milking that, aren't we?
Yeah, to be fair, it's unbelievable.
It is very impressive, 100%. Because yes, he hasn't. Oh, there's more contact. So Kevin, we've seen it once before on the exit of turn 2. Very confident with his rear tires there and his throttle application there, thinking that he can just be so much early on throttle there without ruining his tires. And if you look at his race performance, sure, not all of them are wins, but not all of them are DNS either. That's Timo with a 3-second time penalty, so he needs to now pretty much go the rest of the race without a 3-second penalty, and he might have a chance then to finish in a good position. He is currently very nicely in P6. He just needs to make sure he hangs on to DRS then to defend from a very hungry Mavers then, who's looking to make up moves. And Kevin, another lockup. We're seeing a lot of lockups here, so they must be pushing very hard then, and I wonder if we will see a change of the lead then, going either into the chicane or going into turn 1 then, as Kevin lines up the Alpine of Toro in the slipstream. Look at Rajic also in the slipstream. They're bumper to bumper, front wing to rear wing, and Kevin smack bang in the middle of it.
And here we go now, the Alpine round the outside, and it might be a 1-2 for Alpine. Here we go, side by side. Kevin down the inside, he secures that second position there, and that increases Nico son to try and get that gap closer. But there was a further back. I saw there was a 5, but I missed that one. But
it was
yeah,
Mavers and
Rajic,
Timo, I believe.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Timo obviously trying to bring his way up to the top with his teammate and keep the constructors' chances alive, especially with these two Alpines. But yeah, as we saw, Rajic went for a move around the outside, and really, turn one is not the place for it. I don't know many people who have done it turn one. Do you?
No, I don't know any. It would be very impressive. Actually, I do know one. He's called Yalla. He did it on 0% AI back in F1 2019 on the keyboard. Very impressive guy, you must say. I think he's retired by now. I'm not too sure. Anyway, Rajic then he tried it last lap. Then he used a lot of battery. You can see Kevin is a none. He does not want to overtake Toro, which is very interesting because it is very tricky to see, especially that chicane. While there's a car less than a meter in front of you, I want to say most of the warnings are from people just not being able to see the corner. That's the problem I have most of the time with track limits around Canada, especially. You just don't see the corner, so you just gotta follow the line of the guys in front. As now Mick looking to make the move down the inside on Vastas. Vastas tries holding it round the outside. He has the inside for turn two. Mick tries to get on the power. Both of them squirming around looking for grip, but Vastas in the Ferrari manages to keep the Williams behind. As Mick picks up a penalty. That was a clear corner cut, wasn't it?
100%. And let's just remember, Mick was also part of that crash at the beginning. And Kevin has taken the lead of the race. I believe that was from the DRS opportunity. But here comes Toro, because Toro and Rajic have got DRS, but Kevin hasn't. So this is kind of what the team wants, but lock up. And Toro almost goes into the back of him there. Kevin squirming that rear, almost like the tyres are overheating, just not yet. And look at that, DRS opportunities already come through. Is it enough to dive down the inside into this last chicane? It's going to be ballsy. Is he going to do it? And he has. He's taken the lead, but he's trying to hold off from Kevin there. And Rajic also going to try and join in, but it doesn't look like he's close enough with that DRS chance as well. But Nico Sodden is also watching and waiting to see if a little attack there. But it looks like Toro went deep. And in that second turn, it seems as if Toro is slowing down a bit too much, and which has been resulting to Kevin going into the back of him. So that could also be a team game of trying to help Rajic to, catch it up and maybe try and make a move.
Yeah, I think the theory behind Toro's move there into the chicane, or rather before the chicane, was hoping that, hold up, as Timo now fighting with Mavers, the Red Bull and the Aston Martin going side by side, almost ending up in the wall there as front wing and rear wheel hook up through turns 6 and 7 there, as now towards the chicane, Timo manages to solidify that P6 I should say. But look at the gap to Neil. This is what I was wanting, what I was saying during the safety car. I want that gap between the leaders and the midfield, so that the leaders can fight out without having someone right behind them trying to pick up the pieces. Of course you've got Nicholson and Neil there just sitting behind, saving the battery, saving the tires, but now Mavers with the DRS, with some ERS, flies past the Red Bull, and I think that should be the last of the battle we see from there. But as we go into lap 12 now, these guys a lot of locking up, and especially Toto struggling on exit, so the tire wear is starting to show then for especially the front three.
Yeah, 100%. And then so down the pit lane, with these lockups, could we expect to see cars diving into the pit lane anytime soon?
I'm not sure. On hards, I don't think so, because those hards, I know from the last couple of games, hards at Canada can do about 22, 23 laps if you really push them. 20 laps is about optimal. I mean, lockups, I'm not sure if this is, because I've seen a lot of this on these F1 games as well. Lockups in the spectator mode often aren't lockups in the actual game, and they will show them as lockups, but they're not actually, and it's just smoke, or the driver doesn't actually lock up and there's just smoke pouring from their cars, which is weird. But essentially, the long and short of it is, no, I don't think we're going to see any difference. The only thing that's going to change whether these guys are going to pit is the weather, and those clouds are more ominous than they were at the start of the race.
They are starting to roll in.
But I don't think it's going to be too much, as Kevin does indeed take the lead, and his team and Rajic follows him through into 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think Toro let him by.
Did you see that as well? So Toro actually pulled to the side and kind of let them by it, almost looked like.
They was into the bits.
So we really have a pit, and
maybe he thinks the rain just isn't coming.
Or maybe it's got damage.
Zero, and also for me there is coming around the inside. The McLaren around the outside, almost squirms there, but still takes the position there and going up into P7. So You see the Fabrini there and the kick Sauber, not happy with that and going to try and catch up, but Don't Play Zero there increases his points in the championship. But his teammate Nico-san is all over the back of Toro now because he's just been watching these. He's kind of just had a little joyride, hasn't he? Just watching these guys and enjoying it.
Him and Nilu are sitting there with a bucket of popcorn watching just a VDRL race, which, you know, who wouldn't watch a VDRL race, which is why you should subscribe to the YouTube channel to make sure you do not miss, and click the bell to make sure you do not miss any race. Of course, every Friday, 7 p.m. European time, 6 p.m. UK time, whatever that is in Brazilian Eastern time. I don't know, I'm sorry. It'll be around 4 hours later, so about midnight. So if you're up and you live in Brazil, massive respects to you then. But this is what you tune in. Froby, 3-second penalty. It's still the top 5. These guys holding on. The gap to Timo is now almost 6 seconds then. So unless we get a safety car, I think this is the group that will get to the end. And if there is rain to hit, the second Alpine is gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, 100%. And you can already see Toro's struggling with the front a bit. He was sliding at that corner there. But Rajic is trying to get that gap, but obviously Kevin just closed it down there with the DRS, and he's obviously got the longer straight coming up, and this is where we see all the overtakes happening, especially with all these guys. But look at Toro, he just keeps going wide, he's looking, just keeping an eye on if he can try and force Kevin into an area, but knowing Kevin, he's not going to give it up, is he? So, Toro onto the back of Kevin, and Toro is using his ERS boost. Is it going to be enough to dive down the inside into the chicane? Kevin moves to the centre of the track but holds off, so obviously not yet. And we might not see an overtake yet unless Kevin's got the DRS opportunity to go down the inside of Rajic. No, they both stay in the same order they were.
They're all just sitting behind for now, but they need to make the move eventually, because the clouds, I mean, that blue sky we were talking about before, and everyone getting a tan. James, Netzo, you can start taking that sunscreen off and prepare the umbrellas. There's still a tiny bit of sun. Mayver's going quicker then, but you can see the clouds are starting to form then, and if there is going to be rain, it will surely be in the next 10 or 15 laps. If we get rain after lap 30, I assume no one's going to pit unless it's absolutely necessary then. It could all come chucking down in the last 3 laps, which, not gonna lie, I would absolutely love that. Just chaos out there. Would be a big fan of that then, a bit like we had in Baku, just the reverse then. But still, Nicholson and Nilo right behind, and further behind you've got the battle for P7 between Froby and Dinsho heating up as well. Then Timo holding his own in P6 then, despite his medium tower starting to fade then, as Kevin now takes the lead. So this is where the preparations for the rain come. James, Nedza, oh, never mind! Kevin, has he hit the wall? Has he gone for a wing damage?
I'm thinking it does on the
he does. His entire left side is gone. His entire left side's gone. That's oh, Wes. Timo gets a penalty as well. So Kevin sliding out, and tell you what, that seemed like it was the exact same slide from Baku. Will.
I think he's just had PTSD flashbacks, especially from there, and thankfully it was on the last lap of the race. But Kevin, the man up in the front pack, has spun round and dropped down to 5th position, and another crash back there is the Mercedes of Non-Man.
This has got to be the tyre wear.
I think it has got to be tyre wear, and that's actually cool. Nedzo, could this, obviously we just said, do you think this is the tyre wear?
I think no, because only one of the top guys has done it, and he's known for bottling, and the only other guy was in 18th place. So I don't think this is tyre wear, because again, if the hard's going to do 15 laps, what does this mean for the mediums? Does it mean whether they're in a 2-stop? I don't think so. I think that it's just Kevin has made a mistake. That's very risky from Nico-san, but he's got it done. Fair play to him. 3 wide? No, surely not.
I was going to say 3 wide into that last chicane would not have gone down well, and Nico-san, the man who's been sitting in 4th position, has just taken the lead of the race here side by side, because Nilu's also joining in this fight as well. Down the inside of Rajic there, Rajic stays ahead with his nose in front, and Nilu just doesn't get that grip he needs. So Rajic stays ahead, but look at that, I can't believe it, Nico is in the lead. So yeah, as we continue there, so Nico, I mean, that is impressive. And as I've told everybody on the stream, if you've been watching the previous one, it is the waiting game. 1,000,000% it's the waiting game. And we've already had another requirement there from Mercedes. But that waiting game is just the way. And it's, well, it obviously works out really, really well there for McLaren. And we're just about to head on to the second DRS part now. And it looked like, I think it was Toro in second. So here he comes now with the DRS opportunity. Is he going to take the move down the inside into the last chicane? I believe, no, he's not. So he's just going to wait it out. But it's probably going to be this next bit. But look at Nico-san holding him up as well. He's really holding him up just from that last chicane. Toro's going to look this time. He's got DRS. He's going to go for a dive bomb into turn one. No, he's not. Nico-san stays ahead for the next lap. And it's impressive, these two.
Wow.
It's back this time now. So, yeah, I was saying earlier, it's really impressive with Nico being up front.
Yeah, he was waiting. He was playing the long game, and now he's taking the lead. And I must say, once again, looking up here, breaking my neck a bit, it's getting more and more overcasty as we speak. These guys are surely just going to brave it out now till the rain. Doesn't matter if they're on 99% tire wear. The next tire they're putting on is Inter's. Touch wood, so I don't jinx it, and it's just going to stay like this for the rest of the race. But within 5 laps or so, Will, it's gone from sunny blue skies, maybe a bit more than 5 laps, to very overcasty, and only at a few points in the track there is sun shining through now. So yeah, that rain might hit anytime soon now, in the middle of the race, as we were expecting from qualifying.
And here we go, the two Alpines going past Nico-san, who's dropping down to third, sadly. And Kevin, I believe that was a penalty, but look at that, he's not giving up out. That exit out of the corner has launched him up. Here comes Nilu. Nilu's going to try and join in. No, he's still touching side by side. Nico around the outside. Nico goes into second, and he really's not giving it up. Raja gives him a tap on the rear, but it's not much. And these 4 guys are joining in this fight. It is unbelievable with these guys. And Nico-san was really, that exit was unbelievable. I've never seen something like it, but wow, I'm shocked.
Well, Kevin has been replaced by Nico-san, and Toro's picked up a 3-second. That might have been while I was gone there. But Kevin's struggling to make his way through the field. Mavers has undercut him, so the undercut's very powerful. But I think it's going to rain. And, you know, I said it during qualifying, there might be a downfall of Kevin here. I thought it was due to the penalties. No, just pushing a bit too hard then on tires which aren't really properly warm but aren't fresh. We're not in qualifying anymore. He needs to calm it down then. Sure, you might lose out P1 on lap 16, but who cares? As long as you're P1 at the end of lap 35, you're fine then. And his 10-point lead in the championship, especially after qualifying, won't be looking so great after all, as Raja gets out of Nico-san. He needs to watch out to make sure. Once again, Nico-san does not have any DRS, so the Alpines are playing this very smartly. But someone who has absolutely no DRS is Toro. Nilu needs to get on with it. He's almost got 100% battery. He needs to use it now before the rain starts, because once the rain hits, it's going to be near impossible to make overtakes.
Yeah, 100%. Look at that overcast already. And as we were talking earlier about how dry it was and tan, but now it's just on the verge of raining. And Nico-san, I think it's McLaren's day today. As we said, the angry Kevin has just set the fastest lap as well, as he's back for redemption.
He's motivated.
Yeah, definitely. Toro onto the back of Nico-san. Nico-san is going to get DRS, remember, on this last straight. And it's going to be interesting if he can just keep ahead. Obviously, with these hard compounds, and all the drivers are just going to try and wait it out. Lock up there from Toro, if it is a lock up, as Nedso was saying earlier. But there we go. Nico-san has got DRS this time. And is it going to be interesting if he's going to try and make the move? There is a bit of a gap between him and Rajic. But is it enough for Nico-san to make the move? He's looking... No, he's just going to play it smart. But look at how much Toro caught up there. And he's got an even better exit. And he had to jump off the throttle there because he almost got to the back and he spun him.
Oh wait, here we go. Then down the inside into turn one. He has a lock up front left. Nico-san now the inside. Look at Nilu. Nilu's looking left. He's looking right. He's looking above them even, trying to find a way past. This is helping Rajic, trying to bridge out. Once they can get this contact, then Rajic almost gets on the grass. And I don't know if you've ever tried braking on grass, Will, but let me tell you, it's not pleasant at all.
let's just think of it as butter, driving on butter. That's not going to go very well, is it? So it's going to be interesting how that's going to happen, really, and if Toro's going to be happy with that. Obviously, he's not going to be happy, but Nilu was actually looking as well for that move, and Toro almost swerving there, and that's going to allow Nilu to try and get the inside line
the battery.
for the head.
It's raining, it's raining.
The move. It is raining.
I think
and it's already kicking off this race.
Last race is out of 35 then. Pretty much in the middle where we were expecting a bit afterwards. Someone's on Inters, Luchek's on Inters, and the rain's coming thick and fast. Within a sector, Will, this rain went from non-existent to there, and Rajic, surely. Rajic stays out, Nicholson stays out. They're all total. I would have as well here. Nedzo, James, how's it looking in the pit lane? Is it raining enough for Inters? Please tell me. It's very hard to tell up in the commentary box.
I think some will gamble on it, and if we see the waves of intro coming in, there's quite a lot. Oh!
DRS is disabled, so I think the two Alpines have made a bit of a blunder here, Will, by staying out. Going into the pit lane is Timo then. Kevin stays out as well. All of the championship contenders are, I'm not gonna say throwing this, but Yellow Flags in sector one, a safe guy here would save the Ross, I'm not gonna lie, but the McLaren manages to get going there. Look how much it's raining, Will, within a lap. Absolutely, I'm not gonna say monsoon rain, but usually it takes 3 laps for the transition to happen. Then Toro, Toro has, when did Toro pit? I did not see him going into the pit lane. Did I miss something, or?
Yeah, Toro actually dived in. He was the first in. He was straight.
So he's looking very good right now. We'll see where he comes out in, but he needs to start getting. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him then, of Froby on 21, Lappold, Harsden, as well as Mavers, and Rajic into the pits, Nikolson into the pits, as it's a short pit lane here. Nedzo, down to you. How's it looking in the pit lane? I mean, those puddles must be forming thick and fast.
Yeah, I mean, the only possible explanation I can have that Rajic decided to stay out that extra lap was because they didn't want a double stack. But surely Rajic could be in the car in front would have been the one to say.
Just to cut in there, Froby heel was hit. Toro there, who was taking the normal racing line. He then smashed into the Aston Martin of Mavis then, who might have to change his front wing. Then Toro is still behind Nico-san and Rajic, so that one lap clearly just not enough then, and in fact 2-second gap, so it seems like it was just enough quicker, or Toro might have been held up by traffic then, but it was just enough then. Now Kevin Pitts says Kevin is going to be all the way down in what's that, P11, maybe even P12. Now he's going to be P11, so no wait, hold up, P9, sorry, as some more people pit then, as he's going to be in the middle of Froby, Mavers, and his teammate and brother Timo. Look at Dinsho, who's made up, how many positions has he made up? He was down in what, P10 before the pit stops? Yeah, P10 then. He's made up 9 positions from the start then. He's up in P5 then. We'll see what Nicholson and Rajic can do, but now that's raining. 12 laps to go, Will. It's going to be interesting. That rain is still coming down pretty hard.
Yeah, may I just say, I don't know if I can say it properly, but welcome to Baku again. Because we were on the verge of that, and the crashes have been incredible. But as we said, look at that, Nikolson hit the barrier there, and you've got to keep an eye that you don't smash your front wing there, because that's obviously a big thing there. We know Rajic is quick in the wet, and as I say that, look at this, Mavis is going to go ahead there of Timo, and Timo, who had a really good start, is going to slowly drop, but these two are fighting once again, and it didn't look like Timo had the best of extras there.
So I think Froby's got front wing damage from his previous pit lane entry adventure and forgot to put his front wing to, yes, as it is understandable, you would not have a lot of time then if you smash your front wing at the start of the pit lane then. But still then, Rajic leads. After all of this chaos, our pole man still leads. The man who started in P3 is still in P3. Only changes Nico-san has decided to absolutely go for it at the end of the dry tyre stint. And Nilu, he had 90% battery. He didn't make the most of it.
He didn't actually jump.
However, he's within that 3-second penalty of Toro.
Yeah, and as I said, he didn't just go for it. He actually aced it. He aced that strategy, and it's as if he knew he this rain was going to come. So he's
done this race before.
Yeah, it seemed that he did
a flashback.
He's literally done a whole flashback. So he's absolutely aced it, but obviously not enough to beat Rajic.
Look how much it's raining.
It's not hot, and it's getting bad. And I'm convinced we're actually not far off the wets. Nedzo, I mean, how far away are we off from wets?
I mean, this game has been known for its lack of wet weather tyre running. It's more so than previous games. The Inters can last a lot longer in a lot wetter conditions. But if you start to get standing water, that's when you need to worry for wet weather tyres. When you start seeing those puddles on the surface, that's when the intermediates cannot clear the water and will just pivot off. But you won't have seen it, guys, but I made some pre-race predictions, and one of those was Mayverse. Unfortunately, because of the contact he made in that pit lane entry, he's been stuck. But look at him, he was 1.5 seconds behind Dincho at the start of his lap. He's now right on his tail. If he can carve his way past Dincho and then do a Ayrton Senna-esque or a Jim Clark-esque wet weather drive, he could potentially get up into the top 4, even top 3, if he can catch up to...
if he gets P4, he will get P3 automatically. Here he goes then,
Yes.
past Dincho. You don't usually see overtakes in the corner of there, but he gets the move done then. He's on an absolute charge, and he's got 17 seconds to make up. Dincho's not giving it up though. Maver squeezes him to the inside then, as look how wet it is, properly chucking it down now. Wets are usually not what you want to be on, but these guys struggling to keep it on the racing line then, so they need to start experimenting with different racing lines. Dincho draining the battery towards the inside goes Mavers. His defense is going to be absolutely useless then, as Dincho's going to go round the outside. Never forced onto the curbing by the Aston Martin. Look how 10 laps ago it was a bit cloudy. Now you can take a bath. James, I'm hoping you've ditched the sunscreen. I've gotten some pool floaties or some sort of flotation device in the pit lane.
It's absolute madness now. It's clearly turned a race on its head. When they were pitting, I was a bit skeptical if Kevin had left it too late out there, but I don't really think it matters now, considering he's roughly around the same place. But what a finish we could be set up for here. We've seen so many drivers smack the wall in that final corner, but how long is it going to be, do you think, now before someone actually takes a proper hit to it? And it's just coming down even harder now as well.
Yeah, well, as we were speaking, Toro picks up another 3-second time penalty, and it's really coming down now. This is, look at Dincho, he's struggling. Surely, I mean, maybe if it would have been lap 27, maybe if it would have been lap 17, we would see wets. But surely it's time for wets. Nedzo, you are out in the garage of the Alpines then. What are the engineers saying? What is Mike Crack saying?
I actually, it's not Mike Crack for Alpine. I will say though.
Oh shit, that's Aston Martin. Wait, who is it? Wait, it's not Otmar. It's not Otmar's now, or is it? No, it's
not. It's a Brittany.
Yeah.
No, that's
Okay.
right.
Anyway, what are the drivers saying? I know.
Basically, I asked Roger a simple question: are you thinking of changing to wet? And his one-word answer was no. So.
I must change to wets. Front of it. Werner has crashed. The virtual safety car has come out, and tell you what, I am loving this thing, because this will make... Look, it's the Wall of Champions. The only difference is that Werner is not a champion. So sorry, Werner.
Nowhere near championship level.
It's
really
a tough race.
so wet.
It's
Oh, and
crazy,
for
isn't it?
the as for... Oh, it's double disaster for the kicks out, but they are kicking themselves right now. Pun is very much intended.
They didn't take enough gambles.
No, I don't think they did. And obviously, with his crash earlier in the pit lane, he's probably on course for another penalty as well. Obviously, from the stewards after they investigated that after the race.
It's so wet.
But it's unbelievable how wet it is. And I mean, we need to keep an eye on Nico's one. He had, well, actually, not me. So let's go down to Naver and Nico there. And actually, Nico he sent him. Well, he did a fake lunge, but that fake lunge absolutely threw off Mayverse. But somehow Mayverse just managed to find a tiny bit of grip on the outside. I don't know where, but he managed to find a tiny bit and just stayed ahead. But this virtual safety car can't be long, surely, and hopefully should be over soon. But who's on the wet? That's
Franover. So keep an eye on this man's lap time then. He will have to be in for his drive-through soon. So, Nedzo, you should be able to keep an eye on his times, right? There you go. So quite a few drive-throughs. Like, most notably being that Lucic and Mastas, both in P9 and P10, having that drive-through, that should elevate their place around Mick as well as Froby then. and quite a few. The people that have penalties, quite a few, 9 seconds on Timo. Kevin needs to at least get P6 this race here. If he wants any chance of staying in the championship fight, then Toro will lose out to Racic, but he will gain massively on Kevin then, with his currently being in P3. However, it will be P4 thanks to that 6 seconds worth of time penalty then.
So yeah, it's kind of a disaster over again. And look at that, we saw Lucas there in the Haas go over the curb and just earn himself a 3-second time penalty. That's not good. But as I was saying, Coro in Portugal had a 3-second time penalty and it knocked him down, and this time he's got 6 here in Canada. So it's really
he needs to lose that. Look at Racic, no penalties. Maybe Max got a warning. That's the difference between race winners and champions.
But we've also got a new race winner possibly coming soon. It's Nico's son. He's got nothing. He's probably got a few warnings, but that's it. As Lucas jumps into the pit lane. And James, is he going onto the wet compound tyres? Because, well, that'd be very interesting.
I would assume he is, considering I can't think of any other reason why he picked this laps to go. Honestly, I feel like it's quite a good move by him, considering his position. Where's some other guy? Like, could we potentially see some of the other French points runners like Zero or Mike coming to the pits as well? That would be an opportunity for.
It is really coming it down, but I think it's just a bit too late then. I doubt you'd be able to make up a full pit stop. Yellow more. Maybe if you've got nothing to lose, right? But all of the guys in the top 10 are only a second max, like 16 seconds away, right? And Nilu's not going to pit. He does not want to throw away that amazing P3 finish then. It is really, like I said, if it would be lap 25 now, surely they would have pit, because Vinters would not have held on that much, and they're really sliding. You should be able to see now into the chicane. Look at the spray first of all, and you can just tell that they're sliding about Kevin, one of the most, if not the most experienced driver in the league, struggling to get the car slowed down, going into the chicane, as both of the Van Dykes now are stuck behind the Williams of Dinshaw, which they need to dispatch of very quickly then. Do we have any update on Franave's lap time, Ned? So, are you in the lobby even?
Yes, I am in the like. I can see the stream. I will just say any Franave times are pretty meaningless because during qualifying he was the only driver to be outside of a 107% time. He was a second. Yeah. So and he's not even gaining on Talha.
Well, luckily, didn't Vastas pit? Didn't Ferrari pit?
Both him and Luschek were going in for drive-throughs. That's what you didn't get.
Yeah. Luschek spun.
So the man who had a drive-through has just spun round. Let's just talk about the Red Bulls. And he also went in. He drove into the side there of the Williams. Already inside down the inside. Timo and Kevin.
Oh no, man! He just lagged.
He's just using the hacking tool now, so he's managed to stay ahead.
Timo needs to let his brother by here.
Yeah, he's got to in order for his brother to stay up in front, and there we go. He has done it, and he's going to stay in behind, and he's just going to follow behind. He's just going to follow and wait for the moves to happen and just squeeze through. And I'm sure they're going to work together. But look at that, Timo squirming out that last corner, and that's a horrible corner, isn't it? Every driver hates it. But yeah, this Williams has done unbelievable.
He is making that F1 car as wide as the track. He is a combine harvester.
It looks like the Hamilton moment with it was Pierre Gasly, wasn't it? Was in front of him, and people were making. I think it was that it was in 2022 or 3. I can't remember.
Might have been Alonso then.
It might have been. It was one of those guys, but it was kind of one of this moments here, and obviously that Williams has just held him off for so long, and he's holding off a man who's on the fight for a championship win. I mean,
that's
crazy.
no easy feat.
Well, I think it's Vitaly Petrov.
Isn't it pronounced Vitaly?
I don't care.
Here we go with Nico with a 3-second time penalty. The man we didn't want to see a penalty has got it. So Rajic and
let's go back between the two Red Bulls.
The teammate and the brothers are not going to be happy with that, and that is Timo who's gone down that time. But thankfully, do they actually have damage? That's the other question. Don't think they do. But then Timo seems to go quite slow as well out of that corner.
Well, I've said this before, but that dinner conversation is gonna get real awkward real quick. Kevin is gonna come up there with a full PowerPoint presentation with clip and video, probably of me talking this as well, with a little stick pointing and asking what gap Timo decided to go for in that scenario. Lap 32 out of 35. What has this race not had yet? Well, it's missing one more thing, and that's a massive pile up, which, to be honest, if there's gonna be one, it's gonna be with these three cars, because they're the only cars which are somewhat on top of each other right now.
100%, and I can, well, you know, from what we've had at the moment, I can almost say it wouldn't be a shock if it happened. And that's the nice bit. Well, not nice for the drivers, but nice for us viewers and commentators, because obviously we get to have that experience. But anyway, Kevin all over the back of him, look at that, squirming that rear, and the thing is, Kevin's got 3 seconds, and Nico there doesn't.
Oh, Dincho doesn't. Oh, this could be a terrible race for our championship leader.
Oh, look at that. Look at Dincho there, squirming out there, and so is Kevin. Listen to that engine rev, going beyond the roof, and Dincho is doing something else to hold up this Red Bull. The man, I believe he's in second position in the championship, isn't he, Kevin? So,
First place.
Third place. So the championship leader, look at that. Kevin's got a way better exit, but it wasn't enough to beat Dincho, is it? To dive down the inside onto turn one. Is he going to do it? No, he's not. It's really, really, really ballsy if you do that, because I'd imagine there would be a crash. And Dincho is holding him up like mad. And Kevin is going to be really angry, because his aim after that spin was just to catch up to everyone else. But this Williams is doing everything but that. And here we go, another spin. Master there. And
Don't get disqualified.
Nice. And he's going backwards. Trying to do a spin.
3-point turn. There we go.
Okay.
Let's. I believe you have some facts about the circuit Gilles Villeneuve then.
Right, that's a bit random place to put it. With 3 laps to go, we've got some great battles, and we're going to some facts. But okay.
I know you love your facts, and I know you'd be very disappointed if I didn't. So do them quickly, because look at Timo now. Timo has gone there, not bad for a number 2 driver, caller, multi-map 2-1 then. He had a look at, Kevin just needs to absolutely send it with his battery. Anyway, let's go ahead.
So, Canada first appeared on the F1 calendar in 1990.
Someone's done a Vettel, and it was a Ferrari. It was Franovet. Okay, please continue.
Okay, first appeared on the F1 calendar in 1967. Fuck off. Mosport Park. And then they went to a couple of years to Mont Tremblant, which is a circuit that Lawrence Stroll now owns.
Kevin has gone a great run at it. Never mind, he has not. That straight line speed on the Williams is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, and he's
gone deep.
down.
Kevin's gone deep as well. Kevin's going to try on the outside now. Timo's going to try getting the pair of them then. Still side by side. Can the Williams hold on then? You just need a hold on. Kevin's probably so much quicker, but he's just stuck behind. Now Kevin has got to move better as the Williams. Massive slide of oversteer. He's not giving it up quite yet. He's right. He's looking for the move down the inside, then out of into the hairpin then, and he still cannot stay. Oh, look at how much he's pushing now. Can he stay within 3 seconds though? We do not know. Vast has 10 seconds. Anyway, Neto, please continue.
I'll tell you what I need. I need a megaphone so I can talk over you two. Because now you're going to talk about retirement from Vaste. What I was saying. So this track first appeared on the F1 calendar in 1978. The race was won by Gilles Villeneuve, and they then renamed the circuit, which was called the Circuit Île Notre Dame, after the island in Montreal that of the same name. And now it's called the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It hosted some good races in the past. In 1989, Alessandro Nannini and Nigel Mansell were starting from the pit lane due to, I think they stalled on the grid or something like that. And then you know how nowadays if you stop from the pit lane you have to wait until the rest of the field filters through before you can go out onto a track. Well, it seems they thought the field had gone on to start the race, but they were all still stood on the grid. So they just filtered out and were in first and second, and they got disqualified for it.
Anyway, we're now on the last lap. Rajic, our pole man, after a chaotic turn of events, is going to end up in the same position where he started the race in. We've seen blue skies, we've seen safe cars, we've seen monumental downfalls of rain. He navigates the final chicane one last time then across the line. Rajic takes the second win of the season, ahead of Nicholson. Can Toto bridge a 6-second gap to Nilu? I think he just did by around 2/10 or so. So Toto is going to end up where he started as well then. So after all of that then, Toto in P3 as well. Nicholson P2, Nilu P4. Mavis then doing the extra pit stop, still finishing in P5.
I didn't even realise that we were at the end of the race. I still thought we had a while to go. But look at that. And Rajic, the man who started in pole position, has obviously won the race. And a shock onto the system with Nikos on there after having such a good race. Brings himself second and Toro's third. So leading constructors, obviously, as ever, will be Alpine. But Kevin, that is not a race. And Pinto finishes seventh ahead of Timo. And Timo dropped there to 9th. So coming out with, I believe, 2 points from that. So obviously Red Bull have not had the weekend they want. But yeah, it's just both the Van Dyke.
Like 2025.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Very realistic. This league, isn't it?
You've got one Red Bull driver who is carrying them, and you've got another one who can barely get into points. Where have I seen that before?
I don't know, mate. I think you're hallucinating. Anyway, what a race that was then, ladies and gentlemen. We've had some bangers this season, haven't we, Ed Will? So, first of all, back, fantastic race. Portugal, it was a step back, but still a great race. Australia, another great race. And this, I mean, the standard is still incredibly high as, like we said, Rajic taking the win, second win of the season. Nicholson, P2, then Toto P3, Nilu P4, moving all the way up from P7, then Mavis in P5, Kevin, not the best of races for him in P6, then it is Fincho in P7, Don't Play Zero P8, Timo then, due to that 9-second penalty, down in P9, and running out the top 10, you have Mick, and you can take the rest.
So 11th is Fabini there after the big incident into the pit lane, resulting in him to go into the pit lane once again. So that dropped him down to 11th. 12th there, Lucas. 13th, Damon there. 14th, Talha. A bit of a shock there, actually. Talha with a good qualifying position. 15th, Frana. 16th, Vaster. 17th, Werner. 18th, Non. 19th, Ghost. And 20th, Remus. So Remus obviously not having the best one by having a crash on the, was it the opening lap?
It was like lap 3 or lap 5, something like that. Lap 5, lap 5.
Something he never wanted to happen, and yeah, it was a hell of a race this. And as we were saying, we've had some hell of a races from all the other rounds, and I don't know where we are next, but I can imagine it will be quite a good track.
Let me have a look for you.
Yeah, let's have a little look as we look at all the incidents and all the warnings, and as we've all predicted,
we are in Zandvoort. So
wow.
Red Bull's back garden, or better said, the Van Dyke's back garden. As don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because we're just moments away from the top 3 interviews then. So Rajic, Nicholson, and Toto should be joining us in a moment. So we'll head over there now. Wow, what a race that was then. Well, how would you sum that race up? Because I would sum it up like this, in as low words as possible: dry, wet, chaos.
Ooh, you have just stolen half my words, I have to say. I'd like to. Are we doing 3 words?
How many you want? Just don't write a paragraph.
Oh, I could go for a paragraph if you wanted me to, but I'll sum it into 3 words. Chaos. Lots of rain. Okay, we'll go 4. There we go. Lots of rain. Chaos and lots of rain. Because obviously they were the biggest factors today, and shocks actually. There were quite a lot of shocks in the race. But let's get to the interviews.
Yep, we started out with P3 then. Toto, you started out where you finished, you finished where you started out, rather said. What you pitted a lap earlier than Rajic, was that the right call? Because for us in the pit lane, or in the commentary box rather, the rain came just like that. Within half a lap, it was there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good decision to box one over than Rajic, but I wasn't practicing Inter without racing line, so yeah, my pace on first 4 laps was shit, and then I just turned on racing line because there is no point to race without them when I have no pains in rain. Also, I had 3 seconds, I think, at that moment, which turned into 6 seconds, which I'm not happy because yeah, too many mistakes. I think the first warning was in lap one, where
Yep.
I was just afraid because Kevin and Rajiv was fighting, and from my perspective, they were ghosted. I don't know, and yeah, not the best race. I think, to be honest, I had pace to win this, but yeah, Rajiv was just better.
Right, yeah.
Um,
After that 6 second pace, we'll get to you in a moment. Will after that 6 second penalty, rather, you managed to pull that gap to 6.2 seconds to Needle then. So you must have been pushing like hell those final laps then. And Nedza was in your garage not too long ago. Was it time for wets? But you just did not want to pit, or was it still Inter's conditions?
I mean, in this game, wets are useless. So I think it has to rain like that much to in the real life it will be red flag. To in the game, wet would work. So yeah, wets are just useless in this game. There's no point to race on it.
All right. Will, any questions
yeah,
for Mr. Taro?
yeah. So Toro, were there a lot of team orders involved in that race? Because I saw you and Magic were switching quite a bit. I saw you pulling to one side once and just letting those two through. Was that a factor from the beginning in the dry?
I mean, we are just switching the DRS because there is no point to lose the time on the fighting between teammates. So yeah,
And also just another one for the for obviously you and Kevin when you were having well you were trying to stay ahead. Were you struggling for grip quite a bit, or was it just the pressure as well from Kevin?
I mean, uh, I think I fucked up my pressures. I had 70 degrees on my front tires
Oh wow.
and something like 80 on the rear. And yeah, at the start of the race, I thought that yeah, it will be shit because I will have too much tire temperature, but it was the other way around. Also, I think yeah, I don't know what to say now.
And
Anyway,
I believe yeah.
yep. Thank you very much, Toro. Now on to Rajic. Rajic, what a race that was! So much chaos, and yet you started the race on pole. You finished in P1. How'd you manage that? It felt like one time you were fighting for P3, P4. All of a sudden, you're 2 seconds clear after the Intel pit stops, and you just never look back from that. What a chaotic race! How'd you manage a race like that, where there's rain, you have Kevin and Toro and Nico-san as well right behind you?
Wait a moment. Wait a moment.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I heard a girl laugh there. So respect to Raj there. I'll take this time to quickly say, make sure to like the stream and join the Discord if you want to get racing, get commentating, get stewarding, or if you just want to annoy Nedzo. Feel free to join the Discord. Make sure to follow us on socials at VD Racing League or just VDRL. And I think Rajic is back now. So Rajic, just to summarize the question quickly, how do you manage a race where there are so many factors, so many things that could go wrong?
I mean, I think the main thing is be patient, not fighting all the time the P1 and being there, but not losing time and get confidence with the car, with the setup, and then everything will come.
You also ended Kevin's pole streak. Are you happy about that? That he doesn't get the ninth in a row, or do you not really care? If I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I was shouting when I was 1/10 off in the last straight, and I was shouting. Toro can say that, and it was. I'm very happy about that. It is very hard to take the ball from Kevin, and I'm glad for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Will, any questions for our race winner, who should now be the championship leader?
I believe he is now. Raji, yeah. So when when Toro dived into the pit lane, did you think you guys were a bit too late to dive into the pit lane? Because like obviously you guys were all you and Nikos were both struggling up in the wet. Is that really a big problem for you, or was obviously I don't know if you lost a lot of time to Toro behind, but did you feel you were a bit too late?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the thing is, I think Toro went too early because the lap we went to the pit, Nikosan and me, was the perfect one, and it was my fault. Toro pit earlier. I told him pit to just avoid the double stack, and
I think that was the right move, though, because otherwise he would have gone a lap longer than you, and I think he would have lost more time doing that. So I think that was the right call. It was the best that Toro could have done.
Yeah, 100%. And one more question as well. When Nikos had come up and kind of replaced Kevin as well at the same time, were you quite worried about his pace? I mean, did you think he was going to have a nice kind of walk off into the lead, or were you convinced you were going to stay ahead?
I mean, it was like two sides about that. When it was dry, I was a bit worried. He's fast, and I'm also, but with the DRS and that thing, I will be worried for the race win. But when the rain came, I saw him losing time and me getting quicker, and I wasn't worried at the end.
Well, thank you very much, Rajik. Thank you very much, Turan. Thank you, everyone, for watching this. And thank you very much, the commentators, James, Nedso, Will, and myself, Yao. We'll be back next week at Zandvoort, which should be an interesting one. Until then, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.